We've had that discussion enough. But
Yeah.
the conversation consistently comes up, and I feel like I'm the only human on the one side of this. But Concacaf and Conmebol merging. How do you feel about that corporate merger?
It wouldn't work. First of all, CONCACAF, it's not just, Canada, US, Mexico, Central America, Jamaica, and Trinidad and Tobago. It's not just that. You have like dozens of like small islands with teams. It just wouldn't work. Can you imagine a team like the Cayman Islands facing off Argentina?
Well, I mean, Gibraltar gets to play everybody.
Yeah. So does San Marino, and look how that works out for them.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, well, dude, like, we're talking about countries that are getting stomped by the U.S. and Mexico to where they don't even get to play them no more. They're eliminated far before that. I'm glad you said it wouldn't work because I am I hate the idea. I hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it. I want to see. I want to see.
CONMEBOL is so selective of who's in their confederation that they have literally kicked out Suriname, Guyana, French Guiana out of, like, they're not even part of CONMEBOL. They gave them to CONCACAF.
I mean,
like,
Trinidad
hey,
and Tobago is a part of South America. Like,
yeah, it's literally off the coast of like Venezuela. Like, think about it that way. Like, hey, they know those three countries are not going to be able to compete, so we'll just get them to CONCACAF and figure it out.
I want to see CONCACAF get better. I want to be like, grr, Honduras, grr, Costa Rica, like, honestly, Guam.
We can see that. Yeah, but we can see that happening. We're probably going to only see that happening between the U.S. and Mexico as of right now. Like, if MLS gets rid of all, like I mentioned before, gets rid of all those player tags, if MLS, starts kind of falling in line with how salary caps are set in Europe and whatnot, yes, we'll be more competitive. Canada's in a weird situation because you got three teams that depend on MLS, and then you have a Canadian league that is, I dare I say, kind of semi-professional.
No, it is. It's not. The Canadian Professional League is not. I mean, God, it would be like the fourth tier. They have like first division teams and a fourth tier.
And I don't know if I don't know if I could have sworn that a lot of those teams are based in Ontario.
So are all of the people. That's like saying like Illinois. There's a lot of people in Chicago. Yeah, all of them.
Yeah. So you can't really have a whole league structure. Like, you can't have Calgary or Winnipeg have their own soccer team, or even Edmonton does actually.
They do. Yeah, I was about to say you need to stop with all that shit. Some of those teams are in the USL, or they had unsuccessful USL teams.
Yes, I remember Edmonton used to be part of the USO. As weird as it sounds.
Oh my God, I remember the Vancouver Whitecaps when they were in the USL making a deep run in it was the Impact making a deep run in Champions
Montreal
League.
Was in the
Puerto Rico Islanders, man, like.
There was the Toronto Lynx.
Oh my God, the Toronto Lynx! I remember.
Yeah,
I think Dwayne D. Rosario played for the Lynx.
So like, it sucks that it will be good if Canada actually got a real professional soccer league that can compete with MLS, but that will require Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal to move over to that league.
They'd have to secede. I mean, to be honest, the way Canada is, it's like kind of like Russia, where like the upper part is the Arctic, right? So like all the people are at the bottom, and they're close to they're close enough. Like, what? It's a 6-hour drive to Toronto from here, and you're in Canada an hour or two before that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it will be cool. I mean, it will be cool if they had like a team like from Quebec or Ottawa. Like
I want it. Yeah, Ottawa, Quebec. I mean, like, we get into.
You got Montreal. Like we can, like, you have Vancouver. There you go. Then now they can start a rivalry with Edmonton.
I mean the
you have
Canadian champions, like their little U.S. Open Cup, a lot of times is only 4 teams, but a lot of times
yeah.
it's interesting. Like I like, I'm very much a globalist in the sense that I feel like a lot of people, like, I love it, like the connection that you can form with the rest of the world. But I'm so segregationist when it comes to soccer. I really, like, I don't mind the Canadian teams being in our leagues in USL and MLS. That's cool in my opinion, but like I want to see CONCACAF thrive. I want to see a league I want Mexico in MLS. I want Liga MX and MLS to like fight over players and be like on par, and it's just like those conversations. Remember the conversations of like, oh man, the Chelsea and Man U teams are the best. No, the Barcelona Real Madrid's the best. Nah, the best soccer's in Italy. There used to be a conversation, and it just, I don't know, man. Soccer is slowly becoming like other American sports, and it's just,
Yeah.
thankfully for the slow part. Anyway, this conversation started out as Conmebol mixing with CONCACAF, and apparently the two of us are anti, or are you for it, but you don't think Conmebol will do it?
I'm not for it. I think the moment that CONCACAF merges with, if they were to merge with Conmebol, you probably won't see another CONCACAF team make it to the World Cup. Like, it's going to be a struggle for the U.S.
They'll give us 8 spots, right? They'll give us 8 to 10 spots to start with. And
okay, so if that was the case, then that's different. But then again, now you got to contend with the fact that outside of Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay, which is 3 spots, now you still got to face Colombia, you still got to face Chile, you still got to face Paraguay
Peru and Venezuela and why am I blanking on everybody else?
Going to play in Bolivia with that altitude makes Mexico City look like a walk in the park.
It does. Well, I mean, it does, but like all the other teams that play them seem to beat them. Brazil seems to beat them every time.
I remember a couple of years ago. Now I want to say a couple of years ago. A couple of World Cup cycles back, where like Bolivia trashed Argentina and La Paz because they were playing in that high ass altitude stadium, and like that kind of started the whole conversation of, wow, this is their way of trying to like cheat because they're playing in high altitude.
Come on, no, you use your surroundings to your advantage. Remember the wet, rainy night in Stoke? That's our version. Is your 6 football fields up from the ocean.
And I would like to think that the U.S. Soccer, or just U.S. Soccer, federation in general, has like technology to kind of get players acclimated.
Well, I mean,
make them run on the
everybody
treadmill
does
with the guy. Yeah, make a player run on the treadmill with the mask on to lower their oxygen to kind of mimic the conditions up there.
No one cared who I was until I put on the mask. Anyway, I'm sorry. I hate that movie. Anyway, anyway, I think we beat it to death. Keep CONCACAF amazing. We love you. Anyway, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll be right back to talk about the Chicago Fire. Yeah.